In 2004, Saw wasn't just another horror film. It was the birth of a twisted philosophy. But behind the torture traps and the screams lies a story full of strange, fascinating, and disturbing truths. So today, we're diving into 27 weird facts you didn't know about Saw 2004. And trust me, by the time we reach fact number 27, you'll never look at that bathroom scene the same way again. Fact 1. The idea came from a real-life panic attack. Before Saw was even a script, writer Leigh Whannell was convinced he had a brain tumor. He was working a stressful TV job in Australia and kept suffering from migraines. During one hospital visit, he wondered, what if I had a brain tumor? What if I only had months left to live? That single, terrifying thought that life could end without warning planted the seed for Saw. He began imagining a killer who doesn't just take lives, but forces people to value them. Leigh later said that his fear of dying became the emotional heartbeat of Jigsaw. Fact 2. It started as a short film. Whannell and director James Wan didn't have Hollywood connections or money, so they made a 9-minute short film in 2003 to show their idea to investors. It featured Whannell himself acting out Amanda's reverse bear trap scene, the same horrifying moment that would later terrify theaters worldwide. That short film became their golden ticket to LA. Fact 3. The entire movie was filmed in just 18 days. Once they got the green light, the full feature was shot in only 18 days. That's insanely fast for any movie, especially one with complex traps and overlapping timelines. Because of the tight schedule, there were no rehearsals and almost no second takes. If you thought the actors looked exhausted, sweaty, and panicked, they were. Stick around, because later you'll learn which scene had to be shot in one take and how it nearly destroyed an actor's voice. Fact 4. The bathroom was the entire set. The film's claustrophobic feeling wasn't just storytelling, it was logistics. Most of Saw was shot on a single set. The filthy, decaying bathroom where Adam and Dr. Gordon are chained. The smell, the grime, the rot. It wasn't all fake. The walls were painted with actual mold paste, and the floor was constantly misted with dirty water to make it look damp and disgusting. Fact 5. They used real pig organs. During Amanda's reverse bear trap test, the corpse she digs into wasn't filled with fake props. It was stuffed with real pig intestines bought from a local butcher shop. The crew had to keep replacing them between takes because they spoiled quickly under hot studio lights. Leigh Whannell later said the smell was so bad, it almost made him vomit on camera. Fact 6. The entire film was out of order. Because of the brutal shooting schedule, most of the movie was filmed completely out of order. To help the actors stay emotionally consistent, James Wan taped little notes around the set, like Adam equals day 1 of captivity, Gordon equals day 2, panic stage. That's how they managed to make the story feel like a slow descent into madness, even though they shot scenes randomly. Fact 7. Tobin Bell laid on the floor for days. Here's one of the weirdest facts. Tobin Bell, who plays Jigsaw, spent most of the movie just lying on the cold, wet floor, pretending to be dead. He was on that floor for 4 straight days, barely moving between takes. The crew offered to use a dummy, but Bell refused, saying the realism mattered, and it paid off. That moment when he suddenly stands up at the end. One of horror's greatest reveals, made possible because Bell actually endured it. Fact 8. They couldn't afford a dummy. Speaking of that dead body, part of the reason Bell had to do it himself was because they couldn't afford a realistic dummy. Their budget was under $1.2 million, so every dollar counted. No CGI, no prosthetic doubles, just grit, sweat, and a committed actor pretending to be a corpse. Fact 9. The director slept in his car. James Wan didn't have the money for a hotel while making Saw. He actually slept in his car near the set for several nights to save on expenses. Meanwhile, Leigh Whannell couch-surfed with friends. It was a bare-bones operation, but that desperation bled into the movie's tone. And just wait until fact number 13, because one prop was so cursed, it almost sent the crew running from the set. Fact 10. Danny Glover joined for one major reason. Veteran actor Danny Glover took on the role of Detective Tapp because he was impressed with the script's moral themes. He said Saw wasn't just a gore fest, it was a philosophical horror about human value. Glover only filmed for 2 days, but his performance gave the movie legitimacy that helped it sell internationally. Fact 11. The traps were designed to feel possible. James Wan and Leigh Whannell wanted every trap to feel like something a deranged engineer could build in real life. No supernatural elements, no sci-fi, just metal, gears, and pain. In early drafts, they even had schematics drawn up by a mechanical engineer to make sure the devices were technically possible. Fact 12. The sound design was built from trash. The terrifying sound effects, the chains, the saws, the screams, weren't made with studio software. Sound designer Charlie Clouser used everyday junk, rusted pipes, metal garbage lids, and an old fan motor. He distorted and looped those noises to create that gritty, industrial nightmare soundscape we all recognize. Fact 13. The Jigsaw puppet was almost thrown away. Billy the Puppet, the iconic tricycle-riding face of Jigsaw, almost didn't survive production. Built from scratch by James Wan himself, Billy's jaw mechanism kept breaking. At one point, the puppet fell apart completely, and crew members wanted to scrap it. Wan rebuilt it overnight, using spare mannequin parts and duct tape. That same puppet went on to appear in every Saw sequel, a horror icon born out of pure DIY panic. Fact 14. The blood was cheap syrup and coffee. The movie's signature blood, that dark, grimy red, wasn't fancy movie-grade liquid. It was a mix of chocolate syrup and instant coffee. It gave the blood a dirtier, more realistic tone that popped on camera and looked older, more coagulated, perfect for the sick aesthetic of the film. Fact 15. Cary Elwes injured himself on set. During one of the final scenes, where Dr. Gordon saws through his own leg, Cary Elwes got so into character that he accidentally cut his real foot on a prop chain. The pain you see in that scene isn't entirely acting, it's real. He even had to get a few stitches afterward. Fact 16. The ending was originally different. In the early script, the film ended with a much more ambiguous reveal. Jigsaw's body was never supposed to rise, but Wan and Whannell decided to film an alternate ending, where the corpse stands up, just to test audience reactions. When they screened it, viewers screamed so loud the team knew they had found their final shot. But don't go anywhere, because by fact number 20, we'll uncover the real-life case that might have inspired Jigsaw's twisted morality. Fact 17. The Hello Zepp theme was a last-minute composition.
Hello, Mr. Hindle. Or as they called you around the hospital.
The now famous theme that plays at the film's climax, Hello Zepp, was composed by Charlie Clouser in a rush after test screenings. He delivered it just days before release, and it instantly became one of horror's most recognizable musical pieces, symbolizing revelation and horror colliding. Fact 18. The film's title has double meaning. Most people assume Saw just refers to the tool used in the bathroom, but James Wan said it also represents what you saw, as in what you witnessed. The film's entire message revolves around perception, memory, and consequence. So, the title itself is a clue about the story's structure. Fact 19. Jigsaw's voice was recorded in a closet. That menacing voice, "I want to play a game," was recorded by Tobin Bell inside a small padded closet using a cheap microphone.
I know you. I want to play a game.
They filtered and slowed the audio slightly, giving it that guttural mechanical tone. It's now one of the most quoted lines in horror history. Fact 20. Inspired by a real-life killer. While Jigsaw is fictional, his moral obsession has eerie parallels to a real-life serial killer in Japan who forced his victims into games of endurance and obedience. Wannell said he loosely based Jigsaw's ideology on that case, exploring what happens when someone plays God in the name of justice. Fact 21. Most of the crew came from film school. James Wan and Leigh Whannell brought along friends from their Australian film school to crew the movie. Some of them had never worked on a feature before, which led to mistakes, like mismatched lighting and continuity errors. But that rawness gave Saw its gritty, documentary-like feel. Fact 22. Tobin Bell fell asleep on the floor. During long takes, Tobin Bell actually fell asleep while playing dead. The crew sometimes forgot he was real until he snored, which apparently freaked a few people out more than anything in the script. Fact 23. The entire film was edited on a laptop. Post-production took months, but the editing itself was done on a personal laptop using basic software. James Wan literally edited scenes in his apartment, frame by frame, while Leigh Whannell helped cut sound. That's how indie this movie really was. Fact 24. It was almost rated NC-17. The MPAA initially slapped Saw with an NC-17 rating because of its intense violence. To secure an R rating, Wan trimmed down a few seconds of gore, like the drill chair scene. Ironically, viewers still found the movie unbearable, proving that psychological tension mattered more than blood. Fact 25. The bathroom was rebuilt for every sequel. Even though the bathroom is destroyed in the first film, that set was painstakingly rebuilt for multiple sequels to keep continuity. Fans can spot small differences between each version, a crack here, a tile color there, but the overall layout remains identical. Fact 26. The ending was kept secret from most of the cast. Only a few people knew Jigsaw would stand up at the end. Even Cary Elwes and Leigh Whannell weren't shown the final footage until the movie premiered. Their shocked reactions during early screenings were 100% genuine. Fact 27. The film was almost straight to DVD. Believe it or not, Saw almost never hit theaters. Lionsgate originally planned to release it straight to video, until a test screening went so well, audience members fainted. The studio realized they had a hit. Saw went on to make over $100 million worldwide, launching one of the biggest horror franchises of all time. And there you have it, 27 weird facts you didn't know about Saw 2004. Which one shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe.